Across the United States, 1 in 8 people are suffering from food insecurity and do not know where their next meal will come from. Organizations like the Food Bank of Central New York help to feed thousands in our community, but now there are concerns about their budgets being cut. Dale Ostrander reports.
Alora, that funding will not be returning this year. Instead, it will return to its $34.5 million budget next year. As food prices continue to rise, food banks across Central New York will have to operate with millions of dollars less than last year. Each of the state's 10 food banks will be working with $1.8 million less than before in the governor's budget for the 2023 fiscal year.
That $1.8 million is actually helping us to just cover cost of what we would normally purchase. So we're not able to purchase as much right now because the cost of the buying power of our dollar has reduced as well because of the inflation of food.
The state increased the budget for these services in 2022 as the need for them increased. But now food banks are worried that without the money, they'll need to turn to others for help.
There is the potential right now from the governor's budget that the $22 million that was added into our budget for this fiscal year will not be available in our upcoming years. HIPNAP,
or Hunger Prevention and Nutrition Assistance Program, has provided state and federal funds to improve the quality of food distributed throughout the state. But food banks are looking for a more permanent fix for their budgets.
Come January 1st, the funding for food, we may have to be looking at support from others and asking for additional help in other areas if that, the support's not there.
Belcher and the rest of the food banks in the state are pushing the governor to give them a $63 million budget to work with, as they feel without it, the service won't be as impactful as it was in past years.
At that level, we're not even going to be able to provide the same service we were 2-3 years ago because of the cost of food and the cost of transportation, just the normal costs that we've all seen increase.
Now, food banks across the state are pushing the governor to not only go back to the $56 million budget, but to increase it by adding another $7 million on top of that for the fiscal year coming up.
Good morning. We're joined today by Lieutenant Malinowski at the Syracuse Police Department. Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Happy to be here as always.
So it is a busy week. We first have Super Bowl Sunday today, and then we have Valentine's Day coming up. What kind of safety reminders do people need to have for those holidays?
Yeah, perfect. Since we're now in person, brought in a little solo cup just to remind us. But so the biggest thing that happens with Super Bowl is we want people to have fun with your friends and family, watch the game. But obviously that concern, if you've had a little too much to drink, drinking and driving, that's safety. So obviously we're going to have extra patrols out for that. Contrary to popular belief, we don't want to get anyone in trouble. A lot of paperwork to make an arrest for that. So we just prefer plan ahead, get an Uber, get a ride. But again, if you've had too much, getting that plan ahead is really what we're asking for.
And then for Valentine's Day, there are some extra safety reminders. People might be meeting people they don't know, doing things they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, so usually it's with someone that you know, but say it's a blind date, you're not sure the person. It is rare, but it does happen when it comes to people potentially putting something in your drink, and it's something we want people to be aware of. So when you have your own cup, make sure you're getting your own drink. That's the first thing, ordering it from a bartender. And then if you go to the bathroom or you leave, take that drink with you, because if it is that rare chance that someone wants to do something, it takes 2 seconds to just put some sort of substance in your drink, and then it's going to alter yourself and your decision making. So that's something we just want people to be aware of. But again, very rare, but still we don't want to see it at all.
Definitely an important reminder to always be given. And then have we been seeing, scams that have been affecting our local community?
Yeah, so scams happen all the time, and especially, when the economy's down and people are really desperate. But yeah, so if anything that comes from a company, and a lot of it's like from Amazon or your bank, and it comes in email. One of the biggest things that we're asking people to do is, say if it comes from a bank that looks reputable, click on that email address and actually look at the official email, and you'll see that it has all sorts of letters and numbers that don't make sense, and that's how you can tell it's a scam. But if you follow us on our social media pages, if you think you're getting scammed, reach out to us and we'll try to help you through it, and because we see a lot of these come through all the time.
Click on the email address, but don't click on any nefarious links,
right,
though.
Not links. Just check the email address, yeah.
Definitely important. And then finally, how are contract negotiations looking for SPD right now?
Good. We're in the midst of a new 5-year contract that just has to get approved by the Common Council. There's some pay increases in there, but the one big thing for people from the city to know is that you still have that residency. So you're going to have police officers that are getting hired, do have to live in the city for 5 years. So you're going to have police officers that are policing the community, that live in the community, which you should see a benefit in that. And that's the main highlights of the contract.
And it'll help retain officers, right?
Yep.
All righty. Well, Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.